Another topic is we were asking, is the president of the United States really serious about border security? What should he be doing? And I ask because we've still got those 5 million or more newly minted illegal immigrants in this country, and likely millions more will be coming across very soon. And Joe Biden's new budget proposal, Kevin, has really cut the funding for border security.
Yeah, so things at the border are not going so well, Tom. We have the cartel, which brings sex trafficking and the deadly drug fentanyl. We have border states flooded with illegals that they do not have the resources to take care of them. To me, that sounds like a good time to invest in more spending at the border, but the CBP payroll is set to be cut by $63 million. Republicans say we're actually about $400 million short in funding to take care of the problem down there. I don't think this is a ploy to get more money. I think this is about whether or not the Biden administration sees this as a crisis or not. Let's bring in Roshini Rajkumar, political strategist and attorney and host of the Crisis Files. Good morning, Roshini. How are you?
Good morning, Kevin. And you know what? It is a crisis. And what you just described makes me think about when we were both TV reporters and we do ride-alongs with law enforcement, just whether in Michigan or other parts of the country. I think that the Biden administration should invite regular citizens on these ride-alongs to prove to us that these border agents are safe down there. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Boy, those were the days. You and I were hanging out in the WDIV newsroom going on ride-alongs. But I tell you, they do. They open up your eyes and you get some independent eyeballs on the situation, and it becomes pretty clear pretty quickly whether or not we have a crisis. I believe we do have a crisis at the border. And when the administration is planning to cut spending by about $63 million at the border, it makes me think they don't think there's a crisis. How does this play out politically? Does half the country just say, the president says there's no crisis, and the other half says, hey, there's a crisis?
I think this is going to bite Biden in the you-know-where. I mean, this is not a red state, blue state issue. I think a lot of times whether you call it the Biden administration or whomever is against the resources for border protection, they are not thinking about, because they're maybe living in a northern state or a state that has nothing to do with a border. I mean, that's kind of what it is. It's how do we help everyone understand that this is not just a Texas or southern border issue. This is an American issue. Immigration is a challenge, has been a challenge. I've talked about it with both of you for years now. It is just crazy that every administration keeps on sort of passing the buck here. And this seems like fundamentally something you can do that all of us can agree with is helping the people that are on the front lines, the men and women on the front lines of this, and to follow the laws. Look, I'm an immigrant. I'm a legal immigrant. Came here when I was 22 months to the United States. And my parents did everything right legally to get all of us legally to become citizens. But at the end of the day, we have a problem. The problem now is it wasn't a problem in the early 70s when I came here, but it's a problem. And we keep on passing the buck. And it's such a crisis. I'm just trying to sort of wrap my brain around it.
Yeah, let's talk about the I guess your attorney, put your attorney hat on right now, because the legal aspect of this, if you're an illegal immigrant, say in New York right now, and even Democrats admit this, like Congressman Henry Cuellar, a Democrat, he says the wait time, if you're an illegal immigrant, to get an appointment is 10 years. I mean, that's just for an initial appearance to see a judge. And then after that, you wait maybe several more years until your case is actually heard. So you're looking at maybe 13 years as an illegal immigrant to get your case decided. In the meantime, you're sitting in the United States. I know there's an effort to hire maybe 100 more immigration judges. But based on your experience, cutting the budget right now, is that going to impact how quickly we can get through this backlog of maybe 2 million cases?
Absolutely, Tom, because what happens is when you cut the budget and you maybe just put the label on the border patrol, wherever that border is, there is a domino effect to, like you point out, these immigration judges, every aspect, every administrator in the process, and also the people who understand the laws. Even though I'm a licensed attorney, I haven't dug into immigration law for a while. I know the basic kind of due process issues. I know whether something's legal or not, but we need those specialists in immigration law to make sure that people who should be getting in and allowed in, and then maybe they're in and then eventually become citizens, are able to do that. So I think what's happened here, which is really unfortunate, is this should be a legal issue, not a political issue. So if someone goes through the process that our country has, and this is the same if you want to become a citizen of Australia or Ghana or China, I'm assuming all of those countries have a process. You can't just show up one day and say, I now want to be a citizen of Australia and be given all the rights of this country. So that's what we have to do as Americans, is turn this away from being political and go back to what are the laws for immigration, and are the people who want to come into this amazing country following those laws to get in.
Yeah, you got to identify the problem, too. And right now, Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of Homeland Security, still doesn't acknowledge that there was a crisis at the border, and he does not have control of it. We always appreciate your perspective on this. Roshini Rajkumar, political strategist, attorney, and host of the Crisis Files podcast. Great to talk with you again. Thank you.
You too, guys. Have a great Friday.